The San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce headed to Sacramento next month. This morning, we're getting a preview of what's expected to be discussed during this big trip. Joined by now Evan Strawn, the Director of Public Affairs, to talk more about this big trip. Hey, that's where the movers and shakers are. That's where the laws are being made, right? So this is a big trip for you, Evan.
Yeah, good morning, Eric. Yeah, it's a big trip for us next week, heading up to Sacramento, bringing about 90 business leaders from across our region, and looking forward to a lot of great meetings with elected officials.
I mean, that's no joke. 90 business leaders from around. Why is it so important to have that big of an entourage that's going to be heading up there to represent San Diego here?
Yeah, well, obviously we're a little ways further from Sacramento being down here, so we always hear from elected officials up there the importance of a strong showing for our region and making sure that when the state is thinking about funding different things or passing legislation, that they're keeping San Diego in mind and the specific sort of interests and policies of our region. And
it's not just, big tech, or it's all different types of businesses that you're calling for, that you want involved. And why is that so important that it's a wide variety of voices?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we have so many different important industries here in San Diego. We have from super large national companies down to our mom and pop businesses around your neighborhood. And they often have different interests, but also a lot of the same in terms of issues of affordability, in terms of overregulation by the state. And so it's important to have all of that variety of voices heard in Sacramento.
I understand business growth is kind of the key point you want to make when you're up there. Why is that, and what do you mean by business growth here in San Diego?
Yeah. Well, obviously, we've seen a lot of trends currently going on in the national economy and the state economy. And we know that for a lot of our businesses, they are struggling, and they're struggling with some of the regulations from the state of California.
Sure.
And so whatever we can do to kind of amplify common sense solutions that we can partner with the state legislature on to try to make it a little bit easier, especially for our small businesses, and cut some of that red tape.
Affordability, public safety are big issues up there. That's important here too, but why is it important that the delegation is involved in those discussions?
Definitely. I mean, those are a couple of the top issues. We also have energy issues facing the state. Obviously, housing production and the cost of living, of course, is always a big issue here and throughout California. And so really, again, it's a chance to kind of amplify these issues and then also have that local lens of how we might have a different, unique situation here compared to the LA area or the Bay Area. And so being able to bring that forward to Sacramento.
Well, we do have that unique issues here because of our binational cross-border businesses as well. So why is it important to have our friends from south of the border joining us as well and making their voices heard up in Sacramento?
Absolutely, that's a great point. We have one of the busiest border crossings in the whole world, right? And we have a lot of millions of dollars of goods and international trade flowing across that border daily. And so it's important that we highlight some of the specifics of our border economy and that situation. And so it's always great to have folks from Baja California join our trips and be able to bring that added lens and perspective, because that's a very important part of our economy here in San Diego as well.
Yeah, I mean, these businesses, maybe there's a business owner at home that's watching right now saying, I just don't feel like my voice is being heard, whether they're just a 1-2 person shop or they have dozens of employees. There are ways to get involved, and the Chamber can help with that, right?
Definitely, yeah. I would encourage anyone to check out our website, sdchamber.org, for more information on becoming a member of the Chamber and how we can partner with them on advocacy, on making connections here locally, and helping them grow their network.
So do you have to be a member to go on this?
No, you don't. You can go on this without being a member. If you are a member, it's a slightly discounted rate, which is definitely a good perk.
And that helps when you're heading up to Sacramento and you're doing hotels and restaurants and all of that. What is the takeaway? What are you hoping to come away with from all the meetings and all the time that's spent with these decision makers and policymakers?
Yeah, well, it is the beginning of a new legislative year up in Sacramento. So I think one of the big takeaways for us is a kind of deeper understanding of what's going to happen this year and what businesses should expect, as well as being able to come in early in the year and kind of shape the conversation with our elected officials so that as they're considering legislation, they're keeping in mind the voices of the business community.
When people reach out to you and they say, hey, I want some changes, I want to go on this trip, what are some of their concerns here in San Diego that they want addressed now?
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you've mentioned, affordability is kind of the big buzzword here locally and across the country.
Like their rent, or how much they have to pass along to customers? Like what, as far as affordability, what do you mean?
All of the above.
Okay.
I think for a lot of our small businesses, a lot of the rising costs that affect everyone in San Diego affect their business as well, affect their bottom line in terms of how much they have to pay for some of those utilities. And then, of course, how that affects all of their customers, right? So I think it's an issue affecting both residents as well as businesses.
Okay, so people want to get involved. They either want to join the Chamber or they want to go on this delegation. How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, you can go to our website, sdchamber.org. There's information about this trip as well as becoming a member of the chamber.
All right, thanks for coming in.